This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by TouringPlans.com. And hey, we've all got those perfect trips to Disney World in our minds, right? We plan the trip and say we're going to go down to Disney World soon, and we're going to go to this park on this day and this park on this day. But you know what always gets in the way? The long lines, right? Nothing's worse than getting to an attraction and saying, "Oh, geez, there's a 30-minute wait, there's a 40-minute wait, there's a 60-minute wait." In Toy Story Midway Mania, it'd be like a 120-minute wait, right? That's just... It just annoys you to no end, and frankly, it can ruin your trip. But you know what? TouringPlans.com has the answer. They've got touring plans that can help you plan that perfect trip and bypass all those lines. They're going to give you the tips, information, and the schedule to help you make sure that your next trip to Walt Disney World is a great one. Check them out at TouringPlans.com. It's Monday, May 23rd, 2011, and this is episode 880 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. What follows is a number of interviews that I was able to take advantage of during a recent media event at Walt Disney World. It was part of the Resort Showcase 2011 media event, which was centered around the Star Tours grand opening, but it also included a lot of different things that were going on around Walt Disney World and what's new and happening. And I got a chance to talk to a lot of different people at Walt Disney World and kind of, talk to them about what's going on, what's new, and share some insight into some of the things that are going on. So here are the interviews that I was able to conduct. Enjoy.
Well, we're talking with Adrienne Lopez, who's the Associate Manager for Marketing Strategy for Disney Destinations Marketing, and we're talking about the Magic Kingdom right now. And the Magic Kingdom, the big news of the Magic Kingdom these days is the Fantasyland Expansion. What can you tell our listeners about how that's going and what the progress is like there?
Well, you know that the expansion is going to be doubling the size of Fantasyland, so that is really exciting. We started, groundbreaking a few months ago, and everything is going really well. We are looking into, 2012 have more advancement into the construction, and this is really exciting because Dumbo, the flying elephant, is one of those attractions that is very dear to everybody.
Sure.
It's a classical. So we are building upon the theme of Dumbo and the storyline of the movie, so that we can have that circus tent. And also within that, we are going to be adding an additional carousel to Dumbo. So it's going to be pretty neat. I cannot wait, to see it, because that is one of my favorite rides, and of course, that is one of the favorite rides of my grandson. So I would love, to just go and have it already. And one of the other things that is going to be pretty neat from this expansion is that the circus tent is going to be providing a lot of different experiences for all the kids and the families that are waiting in line. You're going to be able to have interactive experiences. So our Imagineers are doing, all this wonderful work behind it, and we're just looking forward, to have it as soon as possible so that we can start enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're all here right now as we're recording this for the opening of Star Tours.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that amazing?
It's
Have
great.
you rode it already?
It's very great.
Yeah.
And but once this concludes and Star Tours now officially opens, I think really the next big project at Walt Disney World is that Fantasyland Expansion, and all the focus is going to be over there. And I know that many people are really looking forward to that. The Fantasyland Expansion. Yesterday, as of the recording of this, yesterday we got a chance for the media to check out the new castle show in front of the castle.
Oh my goodness, isn't that amazing?
It's great. What's been the response from guests to that?
Well, this has been having a great experience. This is the first time that Disney is putting the guest before the product. You know that our product has been always our star, and
right.
Yes, that is one of our differentiators. But what we want now is to connect in a deeper way with our guests. And the way of doing it, is having their own photographs in this big screen that becomes the castle, and even with words you cannot explain how wonderful it is. You really have to go and see it, because that castle comes alive, and the music that they are using in the background, the technology is just amazing. Every time that I have the opportunity to see it, my heart it's like explodes with emotion.
Sure.
Seeing all these pictures that are part of the effort of the Disneyparks.com/memories where the guests can go there, they can upload their Disney memories. It could be video or pictures, and that's the database that we use. From there, the Bank of Images comes, and then we are able to do this show.
Great. Yeah, and it's something that a lot of people always say, I would love to see my photo on the castle.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, we started with this Let the Memories campaign a few months ago, and it has been great in a sense that we have included real families and real memories into our advertising messages, but we wanted to extend that experience to our theme parks. And what a better theme park than Magic Kingdom? It's one of those the jewels of the biggest jewel that we have, of the crown of the different theme parks that we have, because it is so aspirational. When I was a kid, I remember, the thing that I wanted was just to be able to go and see the castle. And I can imagine that a lot of these families is one of those dreams that they want to accomplish. So what a better way, of doing it, but, Magic Kingdom and having the castle as the place, for having all these families be showcased with these wonderful memories that they have created and that they have immortalized in all those pictures.
Sure. Now, you talked a little bit about, during the Fantasyland expansion, about that when Fantasyland does open, the new Fantasyland opens, you're going to see a lot of this interactive cues going on. And we've already seen a little bit of that in Winnie the Pooh and the Haunted Mansion now. What's been the reaction from guests that you've gotten? Like, have people been really excited about these things, to check out these cue elements and play around with it? I mean, are people spending now more time voluntarily waiting in line than perhaps going to go ride?
Definitely, in our effort to provide the best experience in our parks, that's what we have added these different elements, because that's the way that we can, assure that our guests are going to be having full enjoyment, and at the same time, it allows the guests to really be immersed in the story. So it's not only about, I have something to do during the queue, during my waiting time, but also, it's an immersive experience. And that is one of the differentiators that Disney has and only Disney can do.
Right.
So I think that is beyond, having that spare time. It's just, being immersed in that experience, the same way that you do it in Star Wars. The same way, is going to be happening in that queue for Fantasyland.
Now, before we wrap this up, I wanted to actually get to know you, Adrienne, a little bit more. You're from, for our listeners, you're from Mexico City, Mexico, and you've been here as a guest. You said you came here as a child as well to Magic Kingdom?
I came here as a child many years ago, and I came when it was the opening for Epcot.
Oh, really?
So it was really a wonderful experience, because I never thought, when I was growing up, we were used to having Mexico the wonderful Wall of Color, and Walt was used to talk in Spanish.
Right.
So, and actually, him, he looks like one of my uncles, so I know that my uncle, was in the TV.
Maybe he was. You don't know that.
And I always see, the closing of that program was with a castle and Tinkerbell, and then the fireworks. So I always dreamt about that, being able to be part of that and see the fireworks. So when I came here to the U.S., I've been living here for the last 11 years, and I have been working for Disney for the last 9 years. One of the things that I recall from my childhood, while working at the Magic Kingdom, because I started as an hourly cast member, now I am a strategist in marketing, because, in Mexico I studied all that. But here, when I arrived to the U.S., I had to start all over my career, and Disney gave me the opportunity to be here. So when I was working as an hourly cast member at the park, I was able to enjoy the same things that the visitors enjoy. And when I was used to see that, show, it was just so dear to my heart. Immediately, I got transported to my childhood.
Well, now that you mentioned that, I had no idea that you started out as the frontline cast member and worked your way up. A lot of our listeners have dreams about working for Disney someday. If you could impart, because you've obviously gone a lot of places now in your career, what's your advice to someone who's looking to, work for Disney? I mean, is there anything you could one advice you could give them in terms of making it?
Well, one advice, and this is something that Walt was used to say is that you can never forget to dream, because dreams really do come true. I just see myself, all these years, and I never imagined that I was going to be part of the magic of working with this wonderful company and these being so close, in touching the lives of the families. So my advice would be that never forget to dream and study, because going to the university, having a college degree, it is very important, and that is one of the tickets for your success.
Absolutely.
So if you are perseverant and continue dreaming and have all the tools that education provides, you're going to be able to be successful no matter what.
Last question for you, Adriana. Since we are talking Magic Kingdom, what is your favorite ride in the Magic Kingdom?
Oh my goodness!
If we're going to the Magic Kingdom right now, what do you want to go ride?
Dumbo.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a classic, right?
I love Dumbo. I love also Thunder Mountain Railroad. I love the parade. I love the turkey legs. What can I say? I love everything about it.
You must have come to America and seen these turkey legs and be like, what are these things?
Yeah,
they are
it
crazy.
reminded me of those movies, having the King Henry, eating, that's the way that I felt when I had my first turkey leg.
Well, Adrienne, it's a pleasure talking with you about the Magic Kingdom today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward, for you to come back and we can go and visit together Fantasyland.
Dumbo Land and a turkey leg.
Right.
Okay. Our next guest today is Gabriel Bill, who's the Associate Marketing Manager for Disney, and today we're talking about Epcot. And I'm honored that you actually listen to the podcast.
Thank you.
How long have you been listening to the show?
Probably a couple months now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we're not offending you too much.
Not at all. It's funny. I like it.
Even though so we were talking about it earlier, we were talking about Duffy and some of my comments before, but it's okay, because today we're going to talk about Epcot and what's new at Epcot, because as you know, Gabrielle, Flower and Garden Festival just wrapped up.
Absolutely.
So what's going on at Epcot this summer?
Well, one of the things that your fans can look forward to is the Sounds Like Summer concert series, which starts on June 12th, and it'll go through July 30th, and these are all tribute bands, so they're paying tribute to some really great acts of the 80s and 90s, Janet Jackson, Journey, U2, and it's a concert every single night at the America Gardens Theater, so 5:15, 6:45, and 7:30 most nights except July 4th.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's an event that Epcot's been putting on for years. It's a lot of fun. You say, a tribute band, but they're very talented. I've seen a lot of, especially I know the YouTube band, which is 2U, and they do a really good job. So
absolutely. Well, the guy that books our talent actually has to get permission from the band.
Oh, really?
In order for the tribute band to play. So Journey has to sign off on the tribute to Journey to get them to come. So it means that they're really high quality.
Cool. Now let's actually, since Flower and Garden wrapped up, how was Flower and Garden Festival this year? How did it work out? I mean, what were your thoughts on how this year's event went?
It was awesome. I think we had a lot of new things this year. Obviously, HGTV came on for the first time,
yes.
And we had all of the celebrities coming on the weekends that were very, very popular. Obviously, having the Butterfly House expanded 3 times the size was a really nice addition. Our guests really liked that, so it was really successful. We're happy with how it went.
Awesome. Now, in focusing on Future World for a second here, because we have. Future World's is an area that we all love. We all love to go on different rides over there and experience different things. And one of our favorite things is Sum of All Thrills, which has really been it's not a sleeper hit, but it's one of those things that I don't think if anyone had a score sheet of which attractions we were looking forward to when they first announced, that one would have been on top of the list. But it's an amazing attraction. I mean, have you ridden Sum of All Thrills?
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, it's a really smart idea. And what I love about it, and we've mentioned this on the show before, is with Epcot, it's always about focusing on the future, right? And in Innovations especially, you have such a focus on what's coming next, and that one is really, really cool because it actually has that real focus of like, it's something that we don't really have today, like the whole thing where you're designing the coaster and you pick up, I still don't know how to do that, but you pick up the ruler and like it activates the ruler on the thing.
Right.
I mean, tell us a little bit about, for people who don't know what Sum of All Thrills is, haven't had a chance to experience it, sell us on Sum of All Thrills.
Absolutely. So Sum of All Thrills is one of the newest things we have at the Innovations Pavilion. And what it does is it inspires people to use math and science to create their own roller coaster. And you actually board it. It's a 2-person coaster, and once you're on the coaster, you get to ride whatever you design. So if you want to flip upside down or go flying around in circles, it will be the coaster of your dreams, basically. So the sky is the limit for what you want to do. You can make it adventurous or you can make it calm. You can choose your backgrounds and what kind of coaster you're on. It's a lot of fun, and it's really cool that there's an educational spin to it as well.
Absolutely. Now, if we can peek a little bit ahead to, I know that Sounds of Summer is obviously with the summer things going on, but all Epcot fans love the Food and Wine Festival, which is coming up in the fall.
Absolutely.
Can you give us a little preview of that, a little taste of Food and Wine?
Yeah, so it's actually the 16th anniversary of the Food and Wine Festival this year. It's going to start September 30th and go through November 13th.
Okay.
And the theme this year is a passport to a world of flavors.
Okay.
We're going to have more than 25 international marketplaces that sell tapas-sized appetizers as well as wine and beer. Some of the new countries that we're going to have this year include Scandinavia. We're going to have a Caribbean Islands marketplace as well as Hawaii to introduce people to the foods of Hawaii from our new DVC or Disney Vacation Club Resort Aulani.
That's interesting. Because, when you mentioned Hawaii, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, Louisiana maybe that was the city one, New Orleans. But
yeah.
I mean, is Disney looking to always maybe focus on a state or two to to focus, or is it just? I mean, it works out perhaps, but I mean, how is it? Is that? I know the Aulani thing kind of plays into it a lot.
Right. I don't think it's intentional to always have a state included. I think it depends on what kind of fits with where the theme of the festival is going that year.
Okay.
But I think Hawaii is going to be really neat. If you ever stay at the Polynesian Resort, which is a little different, but in the same vein.
Right.
The pineapple influences and the really good coconut bread that they serve there. We may see something similar in the Hawaii marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying that. Food and wine, it's the F.
It's just
the F thing. Food and wine it's become such a unique, it's such a popular event. You know what I mean? I mean, I think however it started, it has totally blossomed from that, and it's become so popular. I mean, why do you think guests really get a kick out of Food and Wine every year?
Well, I think there's something different every year. So whether you're a resident that's come every single year or it's your second time to Disney World, you will very rarely have had the opportunity to taste everything at every pavilion. So there's always something new for you to try. If you're a wine aficionado or a beer fan, there's always a new sponsor that's come on with a new offering there. And where else can you really, in one setting and in a Disney setting, be able to experience so many different countries and the influence that it has on the food of that region? So I think it's a very unique event. It's not something you find everywhere, and it's different because it's the only food festival that we offer in the setting of a Disney park. So you can combine Disney and great food. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and what I really like about it is that it's different every year. They change. I mean, a lot of things are the same, but they keep changing up. It's not the same thing over and over again. And that really makes a difference, I think, to guests. And looking forward to what's new and everything.
Yeah.
Gabriel, what we've been doing is we've been talking about whatever topic. Today we're talking about Epcot, but we like to get to know the cast members we're talking to. And you're from Boca Raton, Florida. Are you actually from Florida?
I am from Florida.
Born and raised?
I know, that's rare. Yeah.
That's like 10 people in the whole state that can say that.
I know.
So, how long have you worked for the Walt Disney Company?
Almost 3 years now.
Okay, great.
So I started off in their PR department, and I've been with marketing for the last 12 months.
Awesome. And what's if we were going to go ride something right now, anywhere in Walt Disney World, what would you want to ride right now?
Well, I love Epcot, so I have to say Soarin'. I think it's a fantastic ride. It's something for every member of the family, whether it's your grandmother or your 3-year-old child.
Sure.
It's very peaceful and relaxing and beautiful. I could go on it 500 times and never get tired of the smell of the pine and the smell of the orange grove. So
right.
I think that's the number one thing people have for kids.
Soarin'. All right, awesome. Well, Gabrielle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And no mentions of Duffy, so we're good.
No.
Thank you.
That's good. Thank you.
Our next guest is Brianna Cease, who's the Associate Manager, Marketing Strategy for Disney Destinations. And welcome, Brianna. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And today we are talking about the best theme park in all of Walt Disney World. This is Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
And, there's so much going on at the studios, and we're obviously, the focus right now is on Star Tours, which is reopening on May 20th, or has reopened, depending on when we air it. Probably it has reopened, I think, by the time people hear this. Tell us about Star Tours, too, and about the marketing piece. This has been... I'm so excited for it. I've been able to ride a couple of the soft openings. I'm sure you have too.
Yes.
If people haven't, a lot of our listeners though haven't ridden yet. So tell them why they need to ride Star Tours too.
It has completely been redone. This is not like any refurbishment we've ever done before. Basically, we've gutted the entire inside. It's a completely new experience. So what we did is after the new trilogy came out, we decided, hey, we need to redo the story. There's so much more in the Star Wars storyline that's out there. So what we do is we set it between the two trilogies. which actually had us go back in time. And that gave us the opportunity to go to a lot of new destinations and bring in a lot of classic characters that people didn't realize that we didn't even have in the attraction before. We have Darth Vader now.
Right.
C-3PO and R2-D2, you know, that duo, always coming in. It's great to have them. We have Yoda, Princess Leia, Admiral Akbar, Chewbacca makes a surprise appearance. So getting all those classic characters into the attraction is really cool. But also we're going to a lot of new iconic Star Wars destinations, like the ice planet of Hoth, the underwater world of Naboo. So we're going to the Gungan City, home of Jar Jar Binks.
Great.
Some love him, some don't. We love him. He's fun. We go to Tatooine, where we had the pod race scene from the Phantom Menace, or Coruscant. And what's really cool is that we have a combination of all these new places and all these new characters that result in over 50 different adventure possibilities. So every time you ride it, you're going to see something new. Whether you're going to a new destination or you're seeing a new character. So there's always a surprise every time because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right. Now, Brianna, one of the battles I fight every day is people say Hollywood Studios is not a full day park, and I tell them no way. But especially now, we've had American Idol experience being added, Toy Story Midway Mania, and now Star Tours has been redone. Convince our listeners once and for all, Hollywood Studios is, first of all, it's not just a full day park, it's more than a full day park.
It is. There is so much to do because we are in the heart of movies, of music, of TV. We have so much for everyone to do, whether if you like thrill rides, you like shows, you like parades, we have it all. So we have, if you're looking at thrills, rock and roller coaster. I mean, seriously, 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds with an Aerosmith soundtrack. It's so much fun. Every time I go on that, I can't believe how much fun it is when you do those whirls and try not to do it on a full stomach. But that one's always fun. Tower of Terror. I mean, seriously, with the 4 different combinations, you don't know what you're getting on that one either. The drop sequences is so much fun.
Right.
The American Idol experience, if you haven't gone to that, you need to, because you can experience it in 2 different ways. You can be a guest, be part of the show where you are voting just like you're on the American Idol set. You get a vote for your favorite singer, try and send them on to the last finale show of the night, or you can actually audition to be part of the show. So if you've always secretly wanted to be on stage, maybe you sing in the shower, but you want to put your best voice out there, you can audition as long as you're 14 years or older. And so that means, you know, sometimes Grandpa, that's 75, he wins the show. He's everyone's favorite. So there's no stereotype with that. So you can experience that show in 2 different ways, and it's so much fun. Everyone that's gone through it thinks it's amazing.
Yeah, I tried to sing to my wife, recreate that scene from Top Gun, You've Lost Love and Feeling. She told me never to sing again in public, so it's all right. It's not for me, but there are others that perhaps have actually talent and can do that.
You know, and that's what's a little bit different. So all the judges, it's a positive experience as you're going through that audition. So don't think of it as you're going to have someone that's making fun of you like you might have seen on the TV show. It's very positive. They give really great feedback to everyone.
Now, last summer we had the Summer Nighttastic event that encompassed other parks as well, but Disney Hollywood Studios was part of that. Are we? I don't think it's coming back this summer, right?
No.
Okay. Are we ever going to see Summer Nighttastic come back, do you think?
You know, yeah, never say never, but at this time, Star Tours is our main message, you know, for the next 2 years. So it's and it's huge. We see that everyone has that anticipation. They're very excited. People are coming just to watch and see Star Tours and then Star Wars weekends. So we know that this is going to be keeping up that momentum, just like American Idol and Toy Story Mania did for Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I mean, as excited as I am with Star Tours, I always look forward to Star Wars weekends. It's a fantastic event. And this year, I mean, I can't think of a year since perhaps like the last film came out, Revenge of the Sith, where the park Star Wars Weekends event has been such a big deal this year. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about why Star Wars Weekends is bigger than ever this year?
Well, the first part is Star Tours. That is the star attraction of the weekend. So that's kind of our big new news for this year. But we're continuing to have all the great aspects of the event with over 60 different characters from the Star Wars saga that you can't see anywhere else. So where else do you get to meet Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars?
Right.
You can't see her anywhere else. And everyone loves Darth Vader. He's our #1 character that everyone wants a picture with.
Sure.
Because he's very impressive. I don't know if you've ever met him in person. He's intimidating.
He is the Dark Lord of the Sith.
He is. So there's a reason that people might want to bow to him. So whether it's seeing those characters or our celebrity talent that we bring in. So we've got really great talent this year. For the first 2 weekends, we have Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO in all the movies. Will be there on hand. So we have celebrity autograph signings. They're in special talk shows where you get kind of a behind the scenes of what it was like in the movies or in the current Clone Wars TV show. See them in motorcades that we have with the 501 First Stormtroopers marching down Hollywood Boulevard. It's really a sight.
Absolutely.
For everyone to see. So the weekend in totals just really immerses you in the Star Wars saga. So you get to dress up if you want, like your favorite character. You get pictures taken with them. You can see celebrities from the movies. You can ride Star Wars or Star Tours. You can do the Jedi Training Academy, or even Hyperspace Hoopla at the end of the day, which is a fun little take on some popular pop songs where the Star Wars characters come out and dance, and it makes a big scene for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a fun thing for you to do with your entire family, because a lot of the parents today grew up with the original trilogy, so they're nostalgic. For the first time, I remember seeing The Empire Strikes Back, when it came out in 1981, and the kids today, they've seen all the movies because their parents have them, but they're really big fans of the Clone Wars on the Cartoon Network. So it's something everyone can relate to, and it's kind of a bonding experience for the family. So it's something for everyone out there.
Absolutely. Well, Brianna, what we do is, we're talking to everyone here, but we also like to kind of get to know the cast members behind it. And you're from...
I'm from North Dakota.
North Dakota? No Fargo jokes, promise.
I was actually just there last weekend.
So how long have you worked for the Walt Disney Company?
I have been going on 6 years.
6 years, great. And where did you start?
Well, I started on the college program,
Nice.
so that's kind of where my story began. I was an attractions hostess in Fantasyland.
Which attraction?
At the Magic Kingdom. So I actually did Winnie the Pooh, the Teacups, Snow White, Dumbo, and then later on you can still have Magic.
Interesting. Okay, so you were there for the if you Fill Our Magic, then you were already there for when that came out. That was like 2000.
That came. I came back for the next summer.
Okay.
So that was in 2004 when that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of our listeners. We have a lot of younger listeners who are going to the college program, and I always tell people it's a great experience. I didn't do it, but my wife did it, and she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking, and obviously you've gone places now in the Walt Disney Company, if you have, what's based on your experience, what would be your advice to someone who's looking to work for Disney and make a living of it?
Yeah, if you do the college program, that's a great first step into the company. It's so vast with how many cast members it takes to put on our show, whether it be working in the theme parks, specialty in like merchandise, food and beverage, or even into corporate world in marketing. The biggest thing is really use your managers. They know so many different people from all lines of business, so really use them. If you're interested in merchandise, or you're interested in sales or finance or some other parts of the company, chances are your manager will know someone, and that will help you get that first step to meeting them, because it's not only who you know, it's who knows you.
Absolutely. Well, last question for you.
Sure.
If we were to go anywhere in Walt Disney World right now to go ride something, what's your favorite ride?
Oh, I know that people might make fun of me. I love Dumbo in the Magic Kingdom.
Really? Dumbo?
It's Dumbo. I had such a blast working in on my college program, but what I love about it is you get in the Dumbo and you can just raise it to the top and you get that aerial view of the Magic Kingdom, and it's just where the magic is.
That's true. It's a classic attraction, so
It
I
is.
can't
It's
fault
classic. You can't outgrow it.
it. Awesome. Well, Brianna, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll have some more interviews coming up on Friday's show, where we're going to be talking with James Arnold Taylor, who's the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars, and also Dave Filoni, who's the director of the Clone Wars. Both were at Star Wars Weekends this past weekend, and we're going to have an opportunity to sit down with them and discuss Star Wars Weekends, their careers, the projects they work on, and you know what? Even Back to the Future. Yeah, that sneaks in there too. So check us out. That'll be on Friday's episode. And that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by TouringPlans.com. And hey, when you're going to Walt Disney World and you want to make sure that you're going to be able to see all of the attractions you want to sneak in there, there's no better resource than TouringPlans.com. They've got the resources to help you plan those perfect trips to Disney and make sure that you're going to be able to see every single attraction you want to see. Check them out online at TouringPlans.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at WDWToday.com. For Len Tess, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.